Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Asim. I'm working as DevOps engineer. In this video, I'm going to deploy the Redmine application on EKS cluster. And the idea behind this deployment of application is that I I will show you guys what is the most stable way and most recommended way to deploy the application on EKS cluster and which tools you should use and which tools are most stable and really mature with regard to the deployment in cloud. So let's begin. So I've already created a repository for you guys. It is a public repositories and all the code with regard to the deployment is available and all the steps are included. So you can simply clone this repo or you can have the code as well. So this is the Redmine application which we are going to deploy on EKS cluster. So with regard to the deployment of application, you can use the Docker Compose. I've already made a few videos with regard to the um, Docker Compose deployment a few days ago. You can watch those. So this is the Docker basic Docker Compose file you can set up in your local environment. But as far as the deployment with regard to the EKS in EKS cluster, we are going to deploy very securely, and the architecture is going to be that you should have your ACM setup and the packages you need to install. I will provide all the packages in that particular shell. So let me show you one by one what we are going to do. And but first of all, let me set up all that for you, but I'm going to do this deployment via Docker container, and let me show you that as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start my Docker container. So let me start the Docker first. So Docker is starting. I will be setting up all the setup in this particular container, and all the packages you can deploy through this particular container. So if you don't want to use Docker, the list of those packages I've already provided in my repositories, which includes the Terraform, Help3, EKSCTL, which is the most stable CTL for the deployment of EKS cluster. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply first of all show you guys. Let me zoom in a bit for you. Docker ps-a, and currently this container is stopped. I'm going to start this container. What it does that it will set up the container directory on my desktop, and I'm going to put my code in that particular directory. Let me show you that. So this directory is mounted in this particular container, and let me show you that how I can use the VS code to show you guys and how I can use the VS code to access this container. So simply I will do the cut and paste here. So now I'm going to close this, open this in VS code, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply connect my container with this. So click this button and simply attach a running container. So my tiny Python container which has all the packages installed, it will be connected with this. So I'm going to click this. It will open a new window. I'm going to close the previous window. So if you see that new terminal opens, and I will have a shell in my container, and all the code which is outside is going to be available here. So I can do the edit and the changes what I want. So what I will be doing, I will be using the AWS configure to set up my credential. So guys, as you see, I am inside the container and I'm going to set up the backend for Terraform, and it is going to be S3 bucket. So what I will be doing, I will be setting up a bucket with this name, Cloud Geeks Terraform. So I'm going to use the CLI to set up the Terraform backend. You should have S3 bucket already configured. So I'm going to simply paste these commands. So I've already configured my keys. So this bucket is created, and I'm going to paste this command. This enabled the versioning on my bucket. So if I do AWS S3LS, I should be able to see that particular bucket which I have already created. So let's see. So this bucket is created. My backend is set up. So let me update this name. So what I will be doing now, so I'm going to do Terraform init. So what it does, it will download the relevant module in that particular uh, container, which is mounted with the directory outside my uh, container with the Windows host machine, and then I'm going to do simply Terraform apply command. So while doing all this, I will demonstrate what is going to be happen. So what resources we are going to deploy, and I will show you the scripts as well. So um, along with the Eksctl CLI, I'm also going to show you the packages.shell, what we are going to what actually I have already installed in this particular container. So if you are setting up this particular um, container, if you will use that particular Docker container for your deployment, how you can do that, you have to simply use that particular packages.shell script which I have already created, so you don't have to uh, you know go to different URLs and search for those packages. So uh, currently what it is doing, that it is installing those module. So let me show you that part as well. So so if you see at the back end, so in the container directory, you see .terraform.d is created. So this directory is mounted with the root of that particular container. So that is why you are able to see that particular directory. But the packages which are actually uh, currently the installation process is doing is with regard to the Linux OS. So it's a Python minimal buster package, and I guess it is the Python Slim Buster OS. So let me take a shell. Let me show you. Get etc release. Okay, I have to check that what we have with regard to the packages. Okay, we don't have cat etc release.conf is a Debian, so it has the minimal one. Okay, so anyway, let me show you that particular part of Terraform. It is actually downloading those packages. So till then, I'm going to pause the video and I will be back in a moment. So guys, all the relevant packages are downloaded. So I'm going to now do the Terraform apply command. So as I told you that backend is initialized where our state file, Terraform state file is going to be stored. Now I've set up this RDS variable. So it is asking me to set up the password, root password for the admin. So I'm going to give this password. and also I'm going to give the same password. It is going to set up this particular password in encrypted way in the AWS Secret Manager. So in the code, I'm setting up key as well, KMS key, and that particular key is going to decrypt and encrypt our secrets. And the RDS secrets and the URL are going to be stored in AWS Secret Manager. Okay, so while it is deploying, I will demonstrate all the deployment architecture, and then I'm going to deploy our application, which is the Redmine deployment in EKS. So currently it is setting up a VPC. Let me show you step by step what is currently doing. So, and I'm going to show you also all the steps in the AWS console as well. So you will see this is the VPC I'm creating, and it has a size range of 10.11.0.0/16. So if you see, I give the very massive range of IPs, and there is a gap between that. If I am looking to deploy the Kubernetes cluster, so my vision is that I'm looking to scale my application. So you should be deploying your architecture in a way that you should have a lot of IPs available, so you don't have any issues with regard to the scalability of your application. So anyway, this is with regard to the VPC, and this is the secret manager section. I'm going to show you all this stuff in the console after this demonstration. So the secret manager, what I'm doing here, that I've set up this var.secret manager. So I can give the same variable as like my SQL password as well. So I have to type just one time, but I intentionally set up this var.secret manager um, a separate variable because just to let you guys know that this variable is going to be stored your um, RDS admin password in secret manager. And so this is the RDS secret, and it is going to set up this username, password. Engine is going to be MySQL. Host name is going to pick up automatically from that particular RDS which is going to be created. So this is the DB identifier. So Redmine DB is going to be set up. So let me also show you that part as well. So this is the KMS key ID I'm creating. So this is the module KMS RDS key ID. So this is the KMS key ID I'm created. Uh, I have actually I am creating with the name Redmine. So let me show you some of the stuff with regard to the deployment in the UI, so you should have a better idea because this deployment will take will take some time. So you see RDS is created with Redmine DB, and if I navigate to the VPC section also, let me navigate to the um, secret KMS. So I want to show you all the stuff which we are actually currently deploying, and it is pretty much automated as well. So as you know, Terraform is highly recommended, and with regard to the deployment of your infrastructure, and with regard to the deployment, I've used the Eksctl, so I'm going to show you that particular script as well. So the Terraform output is going to be the input of that particular script which I have set up. So till then, I'm going to show you that VPC, um, custom VPC I'm setting up. So this is the VPC we have set up. I've shown you the side range, and these are the subnets. Okay, if you navigate to the KMS console, this is the customer manage key. Forget about this error. This is the Redmine key I have created, and if I navigate to the secret manager section, so If I type secret manager, you will see that our secrets are going to be stored, but definitely RDS is in place. So once that RDS deployment is done, I will be able to retrieve these values. So currently, definitely, it is not going to store, but um, this setup is done with our which we are doing with our code. So these are the Redmine RDS credentials. So these credential which we are going to use in our EKS deployment of Redmine. So okay, let me show you that part. Currently, it is deploying the RDS, so this will take a while. So I will take a break and I will be back with you guys once it's deployed the RDS, and after that the EKS deployment is going to be started. So till then I'm going to pause the video, um, and I will be back in a few moments. So guys, RDS has been deployed successfully. After that RDS, so this is the RDS module. Let me uh, give a little demonstration on this module RDS. So this is the RDS module. I'm setting up these minimal resources as this is just a demo. So I'm using T2 micro and MySQL for our Redmine deployment. But um, this is the RD setup. So deployment infrastructure is going to be exactly just like in our production and our actual environment in routine tasks, that how you should deploy that particular environment. So this environment is very close to production. So this is the DB subnet group Redmine. So anyway, this part is completed with regard to the um, RDS deployment. So currently, what we are doing, these are the security groups, and uh, okay, this part is already discussed. So this is started now. The EKS cluster deployment is started. So this is the null resource I'm creating, and it is going to call that particular bash script, EKSCTL shell. So let me show you that. So in this particular script, what I'm doing, that I'm doing the output of Terraform in that particular script. So I'm deploying that is where you just have to update these lines in a way that what version you're looking to deploy and what is going to be the name of the cluster. So these all can also be part of your CI/CD setup as well. So if you looking to deploy many cluster in dev or staging environment, so okay, these are the node type, T3 medium, two nodes I'm going to use, and max node is going to be 2. So 30 GB is going to be the volume, and this is the SSH key name which I want to have for my EC2 machines, so I can do the SSH as well. But I have the functionality to use the SSM, so I can use that shell as well. So one of the best thing about this deployment of EKS cluster, that you have the leverage to manage every command um, with the CLI, and behind that they are maintaining this CLI. What this CLI does, it is actually created a Cloudformation templates. Let me show you in the UI as well. So these are the output. I am actually doing the regex here. So private public subnets are going to be available, output of those. So I'm creating a key, and it is going to store that particular key in my home directory. So this is the cluster creation, guys. So this is the name of cluster. I'm providing here. And one of the best thing is that I'm using the managed node. The advantage of using the managed node is that that is where you have don't have to worry about the OS patching and all the stuff. Everything is going to be their part. So it is very stable version of Eksctl which we are deploying as a already discussed in the start of my video, that what tools we should use and what are the recommended tools. Even you can do deployment with the AWS CLI, you can do CDK, Cloud Development Kit. So if you don't have any idea and you are a developer, so you're looking to deploy CDK, but I don't recommend that, because as far as the management perspective, I would like to highly recommend that you should go for the Eksctl CLI, and it is going to provision and the CloudFormation templates for you with that much ease. So everything is available and the help is there. You can do add lot more switches here as well. So once this deployment is done, it is going to update our kubectl. So as far as the packages are concerned, although I've already installed all the packages, what you don't have to do is to simply spin up this cluster. I was looking for the name. So container Python Slim Buster I'm using. I'm inside the cluster, and it is completely editable via this VS Code editor. So this is the great functionality. Even if you are using the Linux or Mac operating system, you can have the VS Code and install this particular extension. I've already created a video with regard to that, so you can watch that. Navigate to CloudGeek's channel, and you can see that particular video as well. So with regard to the packages, what actually I'm setting up for you guys. So it is going to install the latest version of Terraform, and this is the Terraform setup. I'm going to install AWS CLI, as this is the Python Slim Buster container. So you have to simply run that particular script, and that's it. Every package is going to be automatically installed in your container. So this is the Eksctl CLI. I'm installing that particular CLI. I'm going to install the Helm as well. Why I'm installing the Helm? We are going to set up the load balancer controller, which is going to be ingress for our um setup. So as I told you in the start of my video, that you have to have the ACM ready. So it is going to be required for our deployment of Redmine application. So what I will be doing, I will be creating one certificate request at AWS ACM cert manager. So I'm going to use this domain saklanmushtaq.com. Saklanmushtaq.com. Okay. So guys, this is the domain I'm going to use, and let me show you. This one is the former legend off spinner, the inventor of Dusra from Pakistan. Played a lot of cricket, international cricket. So I'm going to use this domain, and I'm going to use the subdomain with redmin.saklanmushtaq.com. So guys, okay, this part is done, secret is done. Let me navigate to the, okay, I should request for the certificates. I'm going to pause the video with regard to the DNS entry, which I have to do with regard to the validity of my domain with AWS. But before that, I'm going to show you the CloudFormation template at the backend, which are going to be set up by this Eksctl CLI. So as you see guys, pretty much automated stuff and the most stable version. So currently this cluster creation is in progress, and you see it is set up the cloud formation templates with the latest version and the recommended setting. You don't have to do everything you for yourself. I mean, deploy via any other tools. So it is the simplest and most recommended way to. So you should go for that. I'm going to navigate to the EKS service area, and I'm going to show you that cluster deployment has started. So if I navigate to the cluster area, you will see this particular cluster with this version is started. So now I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to update the ACMs, and I'm going to show you where I have to provide the certs, as we are deploying the very much production ready deployment of Redmine, which is going to use the RDS and HTTPS, and Ingress is going to be available. So uh, excuse me. Let me pause the video and I will be back in a moment with you guys. So guys, I have done the DNS entry with regard to the domain verification, and okay, this is the RDS section. You see currently we don't have any connections. So if I set up that particular deployment of Redmine, we should have a connectivity with these, and these connection are going to be um, available. Um, this is going to be updated. So anyway, this is the Redmine credential secret manager. So let me try to retrieve the secret values. Okay, let me refresh it first of all, as this part is completed with regard to the secret creation. So you see this, these are the secrets we have created through the Terraform, and automatically the host, the endpoint of RDS is going to be populated, but we are going to use the placeholder of these secret managers. So I will be covering that part as well in this same video. So anyway, if I navigate to uh, ACM section where I was. Okay, so if I try to refresh, let's see it is issued or not. Currently still in pending state. I have to wait for a while. So, but what I need this ARN, and this ARN is going to be part of that annotation which I'm going to use in the Kubernetes deployment. So I will pause the video again and I have to wait till it is updated. So guys, the domain verification is completed. So what I will be doing, let me tell you that the cluster creation is in process right now, because it will usually take about 15 to 20 minutes. So till then I'm going to do the other stuff with regard to the update of ARN, which I've already shown you. This is the helm. What it does, I will cover after this. Let me, in fact, go for this one. So, if I navigate to the Ingress ALB Ingress shell script, which we are actually doing the automation, let me navigate to that part. So, if I come to the main TF, so this is the EKS cluster deployment currently in process. So it is actually dependent on Redmine RDS, which we have deployed. After that, this deployment is going to be started. So after that, what happened that um, I'm going to also create the secrets in Kubernetes cluster, and it is going to dependent on that EKS cluster which is going to be set up. But excuse me, currently we are talking about the ALB ingress deployment. So let me show you that part. This is the also the null resource, and it is calling that particular ALB ingress script. So this is the ALB ingress script. So that is where we just define our cluster name, and that's it. So rest of the setting is going to be automatically done. It is going to do the repo update help, and it is going to install the load balancer controller in our existing cluster. So that part is pretty much simple. So instead of manually running these scripts, I am doing myself. So anyway guys, this is with regard to the ALB ingress deployment, and then let me show you that part which is going to where I'm going to set up the EKS secrets creation shell. So guys, this is the EKS secrets creation shell. So what I'm doing here, that I'm creating a one directory, sorry, one file with the name redmin.env. This is the file redmin.env, and in this particular script, I will be back on this. First of all, let me demonstrate this. So this is going to look for this redmin environment, and I'm going to echo if the file exists. If file not found, then exit, and it is going to throw an error. So what I can what I've commented these. So if I have to delete the old secrets, so I will be doing delete of those particular secrets. So guys, one thing I need to update here, I'm not mentioning the namespace here. So if you not mention the namespace, what it does, it will deploy these secrets in the default namespace. So if you are creating, as I'm setting up all this in default namespace, so you can set up all according to your need. Let's say you can set up the namespace Redmin or whatever you want to set up. So but these commands are definitely going to be changed, and that is where you have to update. At the end, you have to provide -n or dash this namespace, your namespace. So anyway, as I told you, I'm creating all these secrets in the default namespace. So what I'm doing here, these secrets are going to be the placeholder of this file. This is the redmin.env. So I'm sourcing it by sourcing these environment variable are going to be available. So again, this is the regex. So if I navigate to that particular redmin.env, so okay. So as I told you that this Redmin underscore DB MySQL, this is the regex. I'm going to source this, and the output is going to be available in that particular shell, and it is going to fetch the secrets from secret manager, which I've already shown you guys. So if I I'm going to run this script from the Terraform, as I shown you. So this particular script is also going to be run from Terraform. So there are many ways of doing it. You can do manually or copy paste commands. So I just want to do it one in a one go. So that is why I'm setting it up. So if I navigate to the main TF, you will see that this um, this EKS secret setup for secret manager is done via this null resource. So okay, so now it is saying the building managed node groups. Okay, if I navigate to the uh, cloud formation stack, you will see this part is completed. Now it is going to be creating that managed node group, which we are setting up from our Terraform module. So along with it is a more of a combination of most recommended tools, I should say. So it is not just Terraform, it is actually um, with Terraform we are setting up the VPC, RDS, and KMS key, all the recommended and security tools through Terraform. And this is going to be much more easier to deploy that particular secure infrastructure, and and it is going to be private as well. So currently the CloudFormation stack is setting up with the latest provided Eksctl CLI. I've already installed. As you see in the description, all these description are going to be set up this by this Eksctl. So I guess okay, yeah, this part is left. I need to update you with regard to the ARN. So I'm going to copy this particular ARN. So currently I'm going to do the manual deployment of our application. So um, so this part is pretty much I'm going to simply close this EKS setup. Like I have to now show you guys that particular part of Redmine. So if you navigate to the Redmine directory, we have a Docker Compose. So I'm not going to cover, as it is pretty much simple, the provided um in the official Docker Hub as well. So if you have local setup you want to test, you can do that. So definitely this is not the part of this video to demonstrate. So anyway, this is the packages directory. I've already covered it. If I navigate to the Redmine area, in that particular you will see Redmine EKS. In app directory we have ingress.yaml and redmine.yaml. So first of all, let me cover the Redmine YAML file. So I'm going to use these API version with regard to the deployment of Redmine. So I'm going to use the labels as well. So replicas are going to be 3, and front end, all this stuff, tier, whatever you want to do, you can set up according to your needs. As I told you, I'm setting up a placeholder through uh, which we are going to call our secrets from secret manager. So this part uh, is with regard to the calling of those secrets, and in the previous section I've already covered this, that these are the environment variable which uh, is going to be used by this um, Redmine YAML app. So the inside container port is going to be 3000, and I'm going to limit the resources. I'm going to use the 500 millicore CPU and the 500 MB of memory. Okay, so as I told you, this is the deployment, and I need a service as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the version 1 of API, and I'm going to call this Redmine. And as I told you, you can set up the different namespaces as well as this video. As this is just the demo, I'm going to use the default namespace. So this is the slash login health check path with regard to the application in, and this is actually the target group section area where you can give the health check of your application. So as node port is required by the Ingress controller, load balancer controller, so you should have a node port. If you give the cluster IP, it is not going to accept. uh, it is going to accept the load balancer controller is going to accept the node port and load balancer type. So anyway, we don't need load balancer. I'm going to use this node port, and I'm going to show you that currently we don't have any load balancer, and it is going to update. It is going to create on the fly that particular load balancer for us, and also set up the target group. So let me navigate to the ingress.yaml. So this is the ingress which we are going to use, as I told you, we are going to use the default namespace, and these are the annotations which we need, and it is going to set up the ALB internet facing, and this is the service group. If you need a one load balancer controller to route traffic to different namespaces, you can use this uh, group name. I've already made video with regard to that, you can check that. So health check settings, these are the health check settings, all the timeout, whatever you want to set. I've set up according to my application. So these are the SSL setting. As I told you, I've copied the ARN. So previously I've gave this ARN, so I have to now provide it the updated ARN, otherwise it is not going to set up that particular HTTPS for us. So guys, and this is the domain I'm going to use. So redbin.com, and um, SSL redirect annotation. So our deployment is done. So let me navigate to the other shell. If I do kubectl get nodes f1 you will see that our setup is completed. These are the internal IPs, and if I navigate to the UI, so let me close this, and I'm going to show you those particular managed node where we don't have to um, do the patching and OS stuff. So everything is going to be done by AWS, and also I'm going to show you from the AWS console as well. So if I navigate to the cluster section, and let me show you that part as well. So these are the two managed node. If you are using the managed node only, and these managed node are going to be available here. So if you navigate to the configuration, these are the configuration which we have set up through the Eksctl. And if you navigate to the compute section, you see we have worker and desired node true are active. So if I navigate to the Cloudformation template, you see these Cloudformation stacks are automatically set up um, um, via the Eksctl CLI, and we use the Terraform for that as well. So this is a pretty much combination of mix of tools which are really highly recommended with regard to that particular deployment. So okay, when I navigate to the EC2 section, you see two nodes are available. So now I'm going to navigate to the deployment part of our application. So as I told you about all this, I have let me navigate to the load balancer section to show you guys. Currently, we don't have any load balancer. It is going to spin up a load balancer and target group for us, and it is going to set up the routing as well. So, but one thing I need to tell you that the communication with RDS is not going to be happen. So currently you see this is because we have to update the security groups as well. Otherwise, application is not going to able to communicate with this particular RDS. So I'm going to cover that, and let me navigate to this. Okay, EC2 area to show you guys that what security groups it is using. So these are the EC2 instance, and if I click on this particular EC2 instance, navigate to the security group section, click this EKS cluster CA. So sorry, click this one worker node groups remote access. So if you see this is totally secure, and if you see the 22 is going to simply available in this particular internal range. It is not publicly available, as there is no public IP address attached with your nodes. So anyway, I'm going to navigate to the security group, and I need to copy this ID, and what I will be doing that I will be simply navigate to the RDS and click the DBSec security group which I've created through Terraform, and I'm going to simply navigate to this inbound rules, and I'm going to simply click on edit. So I'm going to add one rule here, and I'm going to allow this particular node here, MySQL. I should save my SQL, and I'm going to paste this. It is available, and I want to say that EKS node group allowed. So I'm going to save this, and okay, this part is pretty much done. So okay, now I'm going to simply navigate to the area where we should have the last part of our deployment of application. Okay, so if I navigate to the Redmine area, as I told you that I have to navigate to the Redmine EKS. In that we have app directory, and simply I'm going to use this command kubectl apply -f, and it is going to create a load balancer for us, and that load balancer endpoint I'm going to update in my DNS, and it is going to be available on HTTPS. So let me try that and see what happens. So if everything goes well, it is going to set up that particular resources for us, and kubectl get uh, get pods. Let me call all the pods. So as we are more concerned in this default network, so it is going to create these three containers. It is going to pull the image of Redmine from Docker Hub, and in a short while it is going to be available. So guys, if I navigate, let me just check again, and I have to show you the ingress and all that stuff. So it is saying restart. I have to check the anyway. Let's see what happened, because you have to look for the errors and what it is saying. Every part um, you need to check with regard to that. So first of all, see the credential cubes. What we have done wrong. Kubectl get okay, get secrets in namespace default. Okay, kubectl. Okay, there is a typo here. Secrets. Again a typo. Okay, as I told you that these are the secret we have created through Terraform, and coming from these are the coming from AWS secret managers. So anyway, look for the condition of pods. So is it restarting, running, whatever is happening. So we have to check the logs as well. kubectl get logs. So this is the way you can debug, and hopefully we can sort this out, and it is going to be in namespace default. Oh, sorry, you should not use get. Kubectl logs is going to be enough. So, and this is the right command, kubectl logs. So, retrying connection, it is looking for the migration, it is looking for the RDS, and it is not able to do that. So, yes, that is correct. I found it. So, what happened actually? So, I've not created the Redmine database in that particular RDS. So if uh, and it is looking for the Redmine database in that particular RDS. So there is no connectivity issue. So let me first of all check the connectivity issues. I'm covering the networking part here and debugging part here. I know what is the issue, but I want to show you that how you can do that, how you can check the connectivity. You can use the container as well, but I'm going to use the shell, have a shell in that particular machine, and I'm going to install simply the netcat to see that these nodes should have at least connectivity to that particular RDS container. Yum install hyphen y install the netcat. Okay, so I'm going to install the netcat, and I'm going to say netcat vz, and simply navigate to the RDS section and simply copy this particular endpoint. Okay, copy this and simply paste it here. So the port I should be looking for is this one. So 3306. So you see I'm able to connect. So there is no connectivity issue. So what I will be doing that, if I navigate to my container section, if I do if I check the condition of the pods, and they are continuously crashing. So as I told you, um, it is looking for that particular database name. The advantage of using those Docker Compose and Docker locally, you should have give you a more understanding about application. So what it is looking, so you can provide the environment variable. If you haven't done that, you can set up this yum install -y. I'm going to install the MySQL client. I'm going to jump into that particular machine into that particular RDS, and I'm going to create that particular database which my application is looking for. So I'm going to create my SQL host is going to be this one, and the sorry host is going to be this one. Yeah, this that is fine, and the user is going to be I forget it. I guess is DB admin. Yes, and the password is my super secret password. Okay, so guys, I'm not created. If I do show schemas here, show schemas. So currently we don't have any schemas. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create database and it is going. The name is of that is going to be Redmine, and that's it. So if I do show schemas here, so Redmine is now available. So if I navigate to that particular area and look for those condition of my containers, so I have to wait for a while. So let's see what happened, that if our issue is resolved or not. So what it is doing, that it is now totally crashed, and it is not in a position to restart or do. What I'm going to do, I'm going to simply try to, you see, even there is no need, it is restarted back and these are running. So as I told you, we have to be patient as well. So after 6 restarts, if I navigate to that particular logs section, and I'm going to, okay, I'm going to do logs, kubectl logs, okay, and logs of this particular pod, okay, and namespace default, okay. So it's look pretty much better. Okay, seems like migration is completed. So if I navigate to the section of my UI, I should have target group automatically created for me, and in that particular target group, as a it is pretty much expected that our health checks are not going to be passing. So as I told you, this is the health check of slash login, and these are the target groups, and hopefully these are going to be healthy in a few moments. So let me open also the load balancer. You see, this load balancer is created on the fly when we have deployed our deployment commands. So if I navigate to the listeners, if we navigate to the listener section, so this is where I am using the redirect rule in the annotations area, and if I simply click this, I'm going to copy this DNS name and I'm going to update my DNS area. Okay, so navigate to the target group section. So what I'm doing here, I'm using the IP addresses. Why I'm using the IP addresses? I would highly recommend to use the IP addresses because it is directly going to access your pod. You see, now one of the healthy pod is coming, so it is actually contacting your actual pod instead of hops. So the hops, where I mean, if you type use the type instance, and there are going to be network hops involved in your deployment, like EC2 proxies involved to reach to that particular container. If you use the type IP, what it does, it is going to directly communicate with your pod, and you will see that in a few moments all three are going to be healthy, and we should be able to access our application. So other than that, let me also check whether my application is running or not. If I do kubectl port, let me first of all port forward. Okay, kubectl get pods hyphen a. I'm going to show you all the ingresses services I've spin up. So let it in running state, and I will check. We will check what happened. So if you do kubectl get ingress, and I'm going to check ingress in all namespaces. So we have one ingress is available, which is the endpoint of the RDS. You can copy from here as well, or from the UI as well. So this is the host name is which I'm going to update this DNS name in this particular host. So if I see kubectl get deployments in all namespaces, although we have just uses the default namespace, so Redmine has one deployment ready, and if I look for the services, what we have SVC would be okay. So Redmine service is actually using this node port, and it is mapped to this particular port. So anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to type kubectl port forward. If I do the right command, kubectl port forward, uh, my port forward to what SVC, and SVC is going to be Redmine. Okay, that's fine. And the my host port is going to be 80, and this service port is going to be this one. So okay, SVC Redmine. Okay, I typed the readman. So instead of that, I should type this Redmin. So let me fix this. Okay. So if the communication happens, so currently I have not updated the uh, my browser. You see, this is so cool by VS Code. So simply I'm going to click this open in my browser. So I should have my application from that remote proxy in a safe way available. So now, but I don't want this. I want HTTPS available for my application. So simply I can do Control C here. So now I'm going to simply pause the video, and I'm going to update my DNS. So guys, I've updated my DNS. As you see, my all application or instances, or I should say the pods, are in healthy state. If I navigate to the shell, and if I do um, if I should do the kubectl get pods, okay, no problem. So you will see this is healthy because all these three pods are in stable condition now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to simply navigate to the UI or browser, and let's try to access my application, and I'm going to show you the RDS part as well. I should have connection in my RDS section, so I should be able to see that um, our connection, our communication is successfully done with the RDS. So if I do click on sign in, and I'm going to type the admin is the default. Okay, and if I try to update admin, and I'm going to type my super secret password here, and I'm going to apply it. So this is successfully updated. Our application is running with the valid uh, HTTPS. And what I'm going to do, the last part of our video is come. So You see, this is the previously done updated, previously opened Windows. So if I try to refresh, I should have a connections from my in my RDS connection. So it gives us idea that yes, our application are now able to communicate with this particular um, RDS. So you see, we have 11 connection now, and this is the CPU utilization and monitoring and all the stuff you can do. So anyway, that is the last part of our demo. So that is it, guys, for from my side. And if you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe the channel. And let me try to open this redmin.seclan just parallel to this particular domain of Saklan Mushtaq. Okay, redmin.saklanmushtaq.com. Okay, so guys, as I told you, there is a caching part here, so you should always look for the cognito mode as well. So, okay, because I've done already a lot of testing in this area, so even it's not working here. So let me simply refresh it. So it is working fine in another browser. So make sure you should have a different browser or whatever. You should disable the caching. Whatever you want to do. That's it, guys. That is it, guys. If you like the video, like, share, and subscribe. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.